Coming up on DITV, an Iowa City resident was found dead inside her home on Friday morning. We have all the details. And later, Democratic presidential candidate Beto O'Rourke stopped by the IMU on Sunday as he prepares for the upcoming election.
I'll tell you about the Naismith Award winners, and I'm not talking about Zion Williamson or Luke May.
Enjoy the warm temperatures today because unfortunately they won't last. Find out more on weather.
All that and more coming up on this Monday, April 8th edition of DITV. Don't go anywhere. DITV starts right now. Good morning and thank you for tuning in. I'm Noah Gowdy. A University of Iowa healthcare employee was found dead inside her residence on Friday. The victim has since been identified as Jolene Browning. The Iowa City Police Department is currently investigating the suspicious death as a homicide. Browning was 65 years old and the director of operating budget for UI Healthcare. ICPD reported to Browning's residence around 7 a.m. on Friday and have still been investigating the potential crime scene as of last night. We will continue to bring updates as the story unfolds. With the 2020 presidential race kicking off, many Democratic candidate hopefuls are making their way to Iowa to talk to supporters and try to secure that Democratic nomination. Democrat Beto O'Rourke was in Iowa City Sunday and spoke at a town hall meeting in the IMU about his vision for the U.S. and his platform that he is running on. A major area that O'Rourke hit on was immigration and how he believes we need to make a drastic change to our policies.
Our own image, in Iowa City's image, in El Paso, Texas's image, in Storm Lake's image, these cities and communities and states, a country of people of the planet who come here together, a nation defined not by race or ethnicity, but on this ideal, on this experiment, by our ambitions and our aspirations for one another. We can begin by freeing every dreamer from any fear of deportation, by making
Another area that O'Rourke hit on was student debt in America and how he envisions society shifting to a more affordable option for all students that want to pursue a college education.
We know that former students are literally sinking under the weight of what they owe. And if we think about it, why did they take on that debt in the first place? Not just to contribute more to their own success, but to teach our children in school, to take care of veterans at the VA, to be those engineers that I could never become for my dad, so that we have the experts on infrastructure projects that this country needs. We are $4 trillion short in infrastructure funding right now. What if we stop digging the hole and ensure that community college is free for anybody who wants to attend?
O'Rourke spoke to the crowd for about an hour and hit on many other key topics that he has on his platform. If you'd like to read more about the town hall meeting with O'Rourke or stay up to date on all the candidates that come to the Iowa City area, visit dailyiowan.com. And it was a beautiful weekend out this weekend with the weather getting super nice. Let's toss it over to Dylan in the weather studio to find out more. Dylan?
Thanks, Noah. Indeed, it was a beautiful weekend, and the warm temperatures continue on to today. This morning, we have beautiful sunny skies and a temperature of 44 degrees early this morning, but that will rapidly rise throughout the day. As we move into tonight, our temperature shifts to 62 degrees and clear skies, no wind, no rain, so it should be a beautiful day. Now, as we look onto the extended 5-day forecast for the rest of the week, as I mentioned today, our high gets up to 76 degrees and the sunny skies continue. Tomorrow, we have partly cloudy skies and a high of 65 and a low of 40. On Wednesday, we have some rain. We have a 90% chance of showers all throughout the day, and our temperatures get much colder. We have a high of 49 degrees and a low of 44. On Thursday, we have a 90% chance of thunderstorms coming through Iowa City, with our high at around 65 degrees and our coldest low of the week at 39. Finally, Friday, we get even colder, rather. We have a temperature of 45 degrees is our high and a low of around 32 degrees with a 40% chance of showers in the morning. Well, as you can see, our temperatures start off warm and then we have rain and colder temperatures later in the week. Now, as we look at that storm I mentioned earlier, we can see here that on Wednesday we have a storm going right eastward throughout the Midwest and the Greater Plains region. As you can see in parts of North and South Dakota, there actually will be some snow, and in areas of Minnesota over here, it will be a mix of some snow and rain. Now as we move on to Thursday, this forecast moves even more east as it moves down into the Chicago region and St. Louis, where the rain will come there, and there's even snow up in Minnesota on Thursday. So watch out for that. Now, how will this storm affect Iowa specifically? Well, like I said, we will get some rain, as you can see here, but it'll actually affect us with the flooding. You can see all the rain that will come through, and there's major flood warnings down the Mississippi in areas of Davenport, the rest of the Quad Cities, Muscatine, Clinton, Burlington. All those cities should be affected by this flood. So watch out if you live there or are driving eastward for this storm and all the flooding that could occur. Well, Noah, I'll toss it back to you, but watch out for that storm as you head out later this weekend. Back to you, Noah.
Thanks, Dylan. Last week, you may have noticed a little more music, art, and people in the downtown Iowa City area. That's because it was time yet again for the annual Mission Creek Festival, which is dedicated to bringing art to the Iowa City community. DITV reporter Lucy Rodine has more on how downtown businesses are soaking up the art and the exposure.
This is Mission Creek Week, right? So for us here downtown, this is a big week.
For 1 week a year, Mission Creek Festival turns downtown Iowa City into a hub for art, literature, and music. The festival has been successfully bringing the arts to the Iowa City community for 14 years, thanks to partnerships with downtown businesses like Pullman's.
The community of Mission Creek has really embraced us here at Pullman. We take a lot of care and pride in our music and things that we do. We try to partner with the Englert Theater whenever we can. So this is a busy week.
From Pullman to Englert, Mission Creek Festival is bringing art all over Iowa City.
Brings a lot of people downtown. We get to highlight what we do best, which is really fun. And that's the best part. Like, people are down here, everybody wins.
All the artists coming through Iowa City and the community getting so involved makes it all worth it for production manager Jessica Egley.
My favorite part of Mission Creek is coming to like the last show at the Englert, which is usually Saturday or Sunday night. It's Saturday this year. Going up to my favorite spot in the balcony and looking out at a full house of people who are all responding so positively to this beautiful art that's happening on stage. They're together, the energy is like, you can feel it, and it's like...
Mission Creek is already looking ahead to their 15th year in 2020. Reporting from downtown Iowa City, Lucy Rodine, DITV News.
From Latin America to the Middle East, the Walk It Out Multicultural Fashion Show brought its viewers around the world for its 10th anniversary on Saturday. Originally started in 2009 by several cultural groups on campus, Walk It Out hosted an array of performers showing off fashion, music, and dance. Sound producer Ravjo Verde said she was looking forward to spreading awareness of cultural identity and also HIV and AIDS, which the organization donates proceeds towards, stating, quote, "I think it's important to educate others on your identity and spread more awareness. I feel like equality in general is based off the more awareness and education there is," end quote. President Shima Dafala thanks the performers from several cultural groups for the success of Walk It Out, and she hopes to see even more community support in the future. And we had a lot of exciting news in Hawkeye Sports. Let's toss over to Declan in the sports studio to find out more.
We did. We had a whole lot to cover this weekend, but on Saturday, Iowa became the 10th school in women's college basketball history to sweep the Naismith Awards. Lisa Bluter took home the honor of Naismith Coach of the Year, and Megan Gustafson was named Naismith Player of the Year, making Megan the first consensus National Player of the Year in Big Ten history. And on Saturday, we'll find out if Megan sweeps the National Player of the Year awards by winning the John R. Wooden Award, and I'll be willing to bet Megan's got a good shot at taking that one home too. While Megan's in Florida getting some hardware to bring home, the Big Ten was handing out some hardware of their own in Iowa City as they hosted the men's gymnastics tournament for the first time in history. Unfortunately for Iowa, the Hawks ended the first day in last place. However, 5 individual Hawkeyes qualified to compete on the second day. Jake Brutazon on the rings, Stuart Brown on vault, Nick Merriman on parallel bars, and Andrew Herodor and Rogelio Vasquez on high bar. Iowa took home 3 individual awards, and even though Iowa finished last in team competition, head coach J.D. Reeves has a lot to be proud of.
So obviously we had a difficult conversation in the locker room last night. Like, why did that happen? What did we do? What can we learn from this? And I'll say this about them. I really like this group. I've been saying that over and over. They're maturing. They're growing up and trying to figure out, like, we did something wrong. We made mistakes. What can we learn from it? And I think our performances tonight kind of showed some of that discussion. And these guys obviously stepping into lead in finals and be like, no, this is the Iowa team. This is the gymnastics we do. We get back in there on Monday and we get one more good week of training in before we head to Champaign. And I think they put a nice cap in that tonight.
Iowa will travel to Champaign next week to compete in NCAAs. Men's gymnastics wasn't the only sport that had a Big Ten team in town. Baseball hosted Rutgers this weekend for a conference series. On Friday night, Iowa defeated Rutgers 6-1 thanks to a big 3-run homer here from Isaiah Fuller and then 6 shutout innings from Cole McDonald. Iowa clinched the series on Saturday with a 9-5 victory in this first game of a doubleheader, but then fell 15-3 in the second game.
Game 1 and Game 2, we thought we played really well. Hit the ball all over, hit a lot of extra base hits, threw the ball really well. Game 3, kind of let it get away from us. Rutgers came out and they really played well, but getting 2 out of 3 is always good in the conference play.
You know, in this league, every team that we play is really good. There's no easy games. There's no weak teams. Everybody is really good. And if you don't play your best, especially the type of team we have, you know, this is always possible. What you saw today. I mean, it's such a fine line, and it seems like you know, we've struggled to realize that we're not good enough to roll out of bed and go out and beat anybody without playing our absolute best. A doubleheader day is tough. It is. We've been through several, but I didn't think we handled today very well.
Good series win. Obviously, we're a little disappointed with how the last game was today, but overall, we won the series, and we just got to move on and be ready for the road.
Now, as Grant Judkins hinted at, Iowa will head to Peoria to take on Bradley on Tuesday, and then they'll travel to Lafayette this weekend for a conference series against Purdue. Now, Iowa's baseball is looking to get hot heading into this week on the road, so I think they should take some advice from the women's tennis team. After starting conference play at 0-4, the Iowa women's tennis team looked to get back to an even record in Big Ten play when they took on Maryland at home over the weekend. Iowa got off to a fast start as Michelle Bacala won in dominant fashion. After some love from her teammates, it was back to business for the Hawks. On court 1, Elise Van Hoevelen continued her hot streak as she picked up her 12th victory of the year in 2 straight sets. Iowa needed just one more victory to clinch the win over Danielle Burrich, when Danielle Burrich won in 2 straight sets to help the Hawkeyes beat the Terps 6-1, and all eyes were on the road ahead after a season's shaky start.
That we work hard and we show that we're not going to go down without a fight, and knowing that we're out here, we're here, we have a presence, and that we're willing to fight.
In no way can become complacent. We got to get back after practice and we got to stay hungry, which I really feel like this team is hungry and wants to keep going. And I'd love to see some continual development.
Iowa only has 3 regular season meets left to continue that development. That's all I've got for you in the sports studio, but come back tomorrow for more on the Big Ten's gymnastics tournament. I'm flipping it back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Declan. In other news, a 13-year-old from Nevada saved up enough money to buy his mom a car. Crystal Preston, single mother of 3, could not believe her eyes when her son William presented her with the gift. William bought the car with money he earned from doing yard work and selling his Xbox. His act of selflessness reminds us that anything is possible if you put your mind to it, even at 13. And thank you for tuning in to this Monday morning edition of DITV. Be sure to head over to dailyiowan.com for all your latest news. And if that isn't enough of the Daily Iowan for you, be sure to check out our print edition on the news on stands now. For DITV, I'm Noah Gowdy. Have a great day, Iowa City.